What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Going to be showing off the list that I used to get 5th place at the Denver Regional Championships today. But before I get started, got a couple things. First of all, want to shout out Idiots Are Us and Alaskan Hero from Twitch. Thank you guys so much for helping to support my trip to Denver. Also going to be doing a Patreon exclusive giveaway today. And in honor of finishing 5th place at the Denver Regional Championships with Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX, I'm going to be giving away a secret rare, rainbow rare Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX to one of my lucky Patreon subs. Thank you guys so much for your support. Going to be dropping a War Turtle exclusive video here this week. I have got all of my Patreon subs names here, which I'm going to drop into my hat, and we're going to toss them around. And then whoever the winner is getting that golden secret rare, rainbow rare Pikachu and Zekrom. Actually, it's not the same exact one that I played with. I actually opened this from one of my 3 prize boxes that I got from Denver, but I did play with Rainbow Rare Pikachu and Zekroms at the Denver Regional Championships as well. It's one of my favorite artworks from the Team Up set. I think it is super dope. All right, the winner is James Peltier. James Peltier, you are the winner of the Rainbow Rare Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX. Thank you so much for your support, and big shout out, like I said, to Zach and Alaskan Hero from Twitch, as well as all of my Patreon subs. You guys are amazing. Let's get down to the gameplay. Here is my list from the top 8 of the Denver Regional Championships. Pika pads, or Tricky ROM, or Order ROM. Pika pads. All right, here it is. Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX featuring order pads. I love this list. I think it is great. It's straightforward. It does what it sets up to do almost every single game, and that's how I was able to finish both Day 1 and Day 2 Swiss at the top of the rankings at first seed, because the list is just turbo consistent. I was beating decks that really were not very good matchups for me. I was beating fighting decks. I was beating Zapdos decks, all because my deck was just setting up consistently every single game. Sometimes Zapdos would miss a switch or miss some sort of attack or miss a Guzma they needed, and my deck was just really doing what it was supposed to be doing every game, putting a ton of pressure on the opponent. That's exactly what Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX sets out to do. If your opponent misses a turn of attacking or something in what sets up to be a 4 or 5 turn game with Pikachu and Zekrom, the game can pretty much crumble from there. So instead of including tech cards like Jolteon GX or additional Zapdos, I just opted for 2 copies of Erica's Hospitality in those slots, decided to cut the Wishful Baton as well, and just go for the most streamlined list I possibly could, featuring 2 Let Loose Marshadow. And the idea between the 2 Let Loose Marshadow is that you're really able to exploit any sort of inconsistencies in your opponent's deck, since this deck has more draw supporters than Since this deck has more draw supporters than most standard format decks, you can more often survive an early Let Loose than your opponent can, making Let Loose a great play for you more often than it is for your opponent. So maxed out consistency, maxed out aggression, going for a turn 1 or turn 2 full blitz in most games. You can pivot to Zapdos or Zeraora in the middle of the game, or Tapu Koko GX, and then finish things off with a big Pikachu and Zekrom for game. The Rayquaza GX gives the deck a little boost in energy as well, which can be very valuable, especially when you're running low or you've prized your Tapu Koko Prism Star, or, as I saw, if your opponent is playing the Shady Tail Wobbuffet, the Rayquaza GX can come in clutch to help accelerate energy into play. So that's it. Very straightforward. Let's play some games. I really love the order pads in this list. They get you exactly what you need when you land heads, and I feel like they're bonus cards. You don't really need them in order for the deck to function, but when they do turn out and work, they could be absolutely game-breaking, allowing you to take knockouts that you wouldn't have taken otherwise, and allowing you to make some really crafty plays, really explosive plays. On turn 1, they're fantastic. A lot of times on the first turn of the game, you'll use them to get your Nest Balls or your Ultra Balls out of the deck. We already play 4 Ultra Balls and 2 Nest Balls, so plenty of search outs, but a lot of times you want to just force those cards out of your deck, and Order Pad can help you to do that. Later in the game, you're going for Electro Powers, Choice Bands, Energy Switches. Sometimes you go for the Mysterious Treasure in your deck as well to get Lele or Marshadow for a potentially game-winning play. So Really cool plays you can make with Order Pad, and one of the things that I like the most about it is that you can use the card just to burn it on the first turn of the game, unlike Acro Bike, which will add a card to your hand and make turn 1 Lily plays worse. The Order Pads always make the turn 1 Lily play better. Even if they fail, it's still better, right? So I'm not going to go turn 1 let loose on my opponent, I think. I think I will wait for next turn to do that. I do limit their options, which is pretty good. I could just put Thunder Mountain into play and just hope I hit it, which would be pretty rad. I don't have any lightning in the discard pile, so I don't want to go for that Rayquaza quite yet. But I don't want to, tough call. Don't want to limit my own options either. I don't want to give them the Thunder Mountain, but I want to keep it for next turn. So I think I'm just going to hold tight onto this hand and hope for the best. I'm not exactly sure there, but it's a tough call. Let loosing your opponent when they started Jirachi is not always fruitful. Sometimes they were just able to draw out of it anyway. And Zapdos can just have some very odd hands. I don't know if they're playing Zapdos or if they're playing a Pika deck. Either way, I don't want to run any risk of giving them an opportunity to use Thunder Mountain before I do, and I don't want to let loose the Thunder Mountain away since it's such a valuable resource in this deck. So we're just going to take advantage of that opportunity to get a turn 2 full blitz here guaranteed, and potentially with an opportunity to Guzma as well. I don't think that I'll be doing that necessarily since I don't have Zeraora in play, but we're hoping to hit a draw supporter off of my turn 2 let loose here. Looks like they don't have too much going on. Oh, actually, they're going to Lily. Okay, but they've switched into their Absol, which is odd because they already used their Jirachi. Maybe they're just trying to draw an extra card. They did only get to Lily for 5, I think. So not terribly a lot. And it looks like they're Ultra Balling away, switch, and a Rescue Stretcher to get themselves a Zapdos. So maybe they have everything that they need, maybe another switch card in that hand. Judging by the rainbows, ooh, I actually love this. Thank you for bringing up my Lele. Oh, is he gone? Oh, he's gone. Okay, I see what you're doing now. Alrighty then, and they have a 3-card hand now. Turn 1 knockout on my Lele. That's pretty aggressive, not gonna lie. Feeling kind of bad about that, but I think here that I just put the pressure on my opponent, Guzma up their Jirachi, let loose them, and go for the full blitz on the Jirachi and hope that they don't have the cards they need to attack. It's probably what I'm doing here. It's very aggressive play, but you know what? They just got a turn 1 knockout on my Lele, so that feels kind of bad. All right, we can still win this one for sure. Let's go. We're gonna burn this Electro Power as well, and Marshadow let loose to 4 cards. Does give them a card in their hand. It's very unfortunate, but it is better than the alternative. So let's see here. We're going to be full blitzing this Jirachi for knockout. I could put all the energy on the active if I want to. It's a little bit of an all-in play here, which could cause me to lose for sure. But I know that my opponent's playing the Buzzwole version, so I do want to Tag Bolt very early, so that could be good. I think I'm putting down this Zeraora, and then I have already used my Lele, so I'm just going to save these Order Pads. I don't think I really need them yet. I'm just going to full blitz the Jirachi, put all my energy onto the active Pikachu and Zekrom, and just say, you know what? Now you're on the clock, sir. I am going to Tag Bolt you next turn for 2 prizes guaranteed, unless you do something about this Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX right now. And from the looks of things, it might be difficult for them to get all these Pokemon that they need in play. Apparently I let loose them into a bunch of Zapdos. Fine. Do have Thunder Mountain out, which means they can attack for free, but they might just have this, right? They might just have to retreat. They got a Nest Ball. Hopefully that last card in their hand is not a draw supporter. That would be excellent, right? And without Jirachi, we're hoping that they kind of miss a turn of attacking here. We'll see, well, not a turn of attacking, but a turn of draw. Looks like they're going for the Jirachi. They have Judge. Okay, that's fine. Order Pads are going back into the deck, which is okay with me. I'm going to save that flexibility for later in the game. And we'll see if they get like a switch. If they get a switch, they'll probably retreat into the Jirachi, or yeah, retreat into the Jirachi, then switch back after they use it. But I'm wondering, what are they going to grab here? I do know that the Ultra Beast version of this deck does have a more difficult time dealing with an early Tag Bolt, dealing with an early like gigantic Pikachu and Zekrom GX than other versions of the deck, since it doesn't play that many lightning energy. So let's see here. We can Tag Bolt. We're going to be knocking out probably a Zapdos and a Jirachi here and just hoping for the best. Think at this point, yeah, I need like another Pikachu and Zekrom out here into play. For sure, I'm going to try and force them to take down 2 of these. So let's do that. Let's order pad, see if I get another one. I don't, it's fine. Just going to be content. I think, yeah, using Lily for 6 cards, that's okay. Got a bunch of energy switches. I could attack with a fresh Pikachu and Zekrom this turn. I'm not going to worry about doing that, though. I just want to Tag Bolt around this Sledgehammer turn for sure. So that's what we got on the agenda. Just Tag Bolt, attach this energy. I still got the Tapu Koko Prism Star that I can go for next turn. Let's just grab these. This is going to be an extremely hard game to win. The turn 1 knockout on my bench Lele was really brutal, which makes me think that maybe I should have gone and tried to get an additional bench Pokemon on that first turn or something like that. I'm not sure what that opening hand looked like in retrospect, so I'm still trying to remember what that was like. But he has used all of his Electro power, so let's like keep that in mind as well. He's used like almost all of them, 3, right? So there's not actually a ton of damage mods left in his deck, which means that if he doesn't actually Tapu Koko GX this Pikachu and Zekrom tag team, then he may not score the knockout here. And if he does go in and knock out my Pikachu and Zekrom tag team GX with a Tapu Koko GX, then yeah, he's let loosing for it. He's going to see if he can get it here. He needs the Tapu Koko GX. Otherwise, I don't think he's getting this knockout, which could be tough for him. And if he does get the knockout, it looks like he's got Ultra Ball, so he does have it guaranteed. I could probably knock out this thing in return. But then it's just a matter of whether or not he has Guzma for game on my bench Marshadow. So that's really tough here. He's got everything he needs. Unfortunately, he forgot to Stellar Wish, so that's actually fantastic for me. Oh, he's going to judge. Still think he probably should have Stellar Wished first before he put the Tapu Koko down, but it's fine. I'm not complaining here. And I would like to counter this Thunder Mountain Prism Star, actually, because this is feeling a little bit sketchy here, trying to take this final knockout. That's for sure. So we need to counter that. I also need to let loose my opponent just to decrease the amount of cards he has at his disposal. See, I can Ultra Ball these 2 away. Unfortunately, we just need to go for the let loose. I can't really... I could Ultra Ball these away. Yeah, no, I can't get the let loose and the Tapu Koko off this hand, so I have to just go for the let loose here. Hope I find myself a supporter card. I've already GX'd. Tough stuff. They're probably just going to have the Guzma, but you know, got to go for it. So that's what we're going to do. We've got energy here and then let loose. If they've got Guzma, they've got Guzma. If they don't, I mean, we also have to launch an attack. It's not over yet. Let's see. I could just go Guzma the Jirachi, right? He's probably letting me know that he's got the Guzma in hand now, which is tough. So, and I guess I could Guzma the Jirachi. I kind of have to, see, hope I bump that stadium, I think. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to play the Electro Power and go for it. Let's see, Nest Ball here. And then just hope that I get myself a counter stadium and an energy switch. I did not get the counter stadium. So unfortunately, it's looking like we just have to full blitz for knockout. And then he probably just has Guzma for game. But still a close one. Despite getting the turn 1 knockout on my Tapu Lele, still a very close game, coming down to 1 prize. And we can see Zapdos matchup's like not that bad. I mean, they really cheesed me there, getting that turn 1 170 on my bench Lele. It's fine, doesn't happen every game. I would feel pretty confident going into a best of 3 against this deck. Like, bet you can't do that again. See, do they have the Guzma here? Yes, they do. Found it off the Stellar Wish. So maybe I should have just gone in and Guzma'd that Jirachi. Potentially they would not have had it there. So not exactly sure. I thought when he said GG's that meant that he already had the Guzma in his hand, which is why I decided to Cynthia and go for the counter stadium instead. But it's all good. All right, so close game there. They really drew pretty well there on that opening hand. But all in all, still showing off the power of the deck. Let's roll again, see how we do. I think that this, in my opinion, is the optimal way to play Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX. I know there's a lot of the Jirachi box versions of the deck running around. I don't like that version as much. I don't think it's quite as consistent. I think that Jirachi goes better in a deck like Zapdos, where you're really just playing a ton of pivot cards and the Jirachis are really maximized every single turn. Whereas in Pikachu and Zekrom, I think that you really just want to go in and try to get like the turn 1, turn 2 full blitz, and I think that this list feels more optimized to me in order to achieve that. So, I don't know, last game, let's see, we got totally burned by having that Lele in play, but we're going to do it again, just in case we want to go for the turn 1 let loose. Otherwise, this hand is still looking pretty good. We got Nest Ball, Viridian Forest, Lightning Energy, and we're playing against some sort of Fire Swampert deck. So that's fine here. We'll see what it is that they are cooking up with this thing. I've never seen this Swampert Fire deck before, I don't believe, so we will certainly see. It's a Charmander deck. All right. Charizard deck probably featuring Swampert if I had to guess. So we're going to go in and get Zapdos probably because I'm just looking for, I think, no, we're probably going to go for a turn 2 full blitz. Yeah, we're just going to probably do that and then Tag Bolt early. So that's like what I'm thinking is going on here. And that way we can kind of just like wipe the board of energy. I actually don't want to get an energy off Viridian. We're going to attach here to the Lele and then Lily for 6, followed up with a Let Loose. This hand is awesome. We got everything that we could possibly want. We're going to get the Tapu Koko Prism Star as well as a Zapdos, I believe. So we're going to Ultra Ball away Lily and Ultra Ball here. Get those out the deck, get Zapdos, throw that Choice Band down into play, and get the Let Loose. So this is this is pretty ideal turn 1 here for us. It's exactly what this deck sets out to do. And we have just put an immense amount of pressure on the board here. Getting that Lightning Energy in the discard pile means that we can easily get a turn 2 Guzma full blitz with our Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX. So I'm just going to go ahead, leave these guys in the active here. We've got the Thunder Mountain, the Guzma, Viridian Forest all ready to go. We're going to maximize our Tapu Koko Prism Star, getting that second Lightning in the discard pile. Just going to Viridian away the Lightning in my hand. And we've limited them to only 5 cards with a Charmander in the active position. So they opted not to Viridian first. They've got a Lele. We've already got the Guzma knockout on that Lele, so that's fantastic for us as well. So long as they don't get themselves something crazy like a turn 2 Charizard swinging into Pikachu for some insane amount of damage. I'm not sure that they can do that. I guess with 4 energy, yeah, actually with 4 energy they might be able to do that. So kind of sketch, but we'll figure it out here. Maybe I actually go and just knock out the Charmander turn 1 or turn 2 here, and then Guzma a GX next turn to full blitz. That could be the option, especially if my opponent only gets 1 Charmander. We're definitely knocking out the Charmander, but it looks like they're going to Nest Ball for a... No, they're not. Actually going to get a Chikorita. Okay. So the Chikorita could evolve into a Meganium and then keep this whole engine running. This looks like a very convoluted Charizard deck, not going to lie. Yeah, they've got Ninetales, they've got Meganium, and they've got Swampert, as well as Charizard. IMO, that's just like probably doing too much, and now they're going to Beacon. So I'm actually not scared of this Charmander at all anymore now that it's missing an energy, so I'm cool with that. I'm just going to Guzma up, full blitz the Tapu Lele for knockout, and put So much energy on my Pika. I'm going to put 5 energy on that thing. I know there's no way it's going down. We're cool. Good to go. Cynthia in the hand as well, so that's great. I will just Dance of the Ancients here. We're going to move an energy onto my Pika. Yeah, actually it just goes to the Pika. Sweet. And then we've got this and Guzma up the Lele. Yup, that's fine. And we're going to take our 2 prizes, Thunder Mountain Prism Star, into play. Let's full blitz and get it. Putting all 3 energy onto the active position. I do not think there's anything that he can do about this. And then next turn, I'm going to get to Tag Bolt for 2 prizes as well, which means that the Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX is going to take out 4 prizes before it goes down. Trading 4 for 3 is absolutely insane, so I'm cool with that. And then by the time the Pikachu and Zekrom is done, he will have wreaked havoc on my opponent's entire board. I can knock out this Meganium thing. I can knock out the Swampert. There's just like a bunch of different options for what I can snipe on my opponent's side of the board. And that is just like part of what makes this deck so filthy good, is that you just get to wreak havoc on your opponent's side of the field while they struggle to keep up. I mean, this is turn 2 going first. I was able to Guzma knock out a GX Pokemon and put this much pressure on the board. This is only their 2nd turn in the game, and they need to figure out how to deal with a 240 hit point Pokemon who is about to hit for 230 damage to the active and 170 damage to the bench. That's a lot to deal with for any deck on turn 2. Tag Team GX Pokemon have just completely rehauled the Pokemon trading card game as we know it. Having gigantic Pokemon like this in play on the first turn of the game is absolutely insane and has definitely changed the landscape of competitive play. One of the things that I did like about this deck for tournament play, thinking about a regional championship or something like that, is that the games are quick, right? The Pikachu and Zekrom makes it so that the games have to end quickly because your Pokemon take 3 prizes. I mean, a lot of times they're either taking 3 prizes or they're giving up 3 prizes, which just expedites the games that you play. A lot of games only last a few turns, maybe 5 turns on average, which is pretty low for the Pokemon trading card game. So it looks like they've got themselves a Charizard here, Continuous Blaze Ball incoming. They got a Meganium as well on their side of the board, so that they can use that quick ripening herb to get their Pokemon back out into play. Now, what is interesting is that they've given me another GX option here with this Alolan Ninetales. So I'm not too worried about this Pikachu and Zekrom going down here eventually. He's just going to go down swinging, that's for sure. And we'll just Erica's for 5, to be honest. Really like that. I will probably pivot to, let's see, we're about to take 2 prizes, and then I just need to clean up my final 2 prizes on this fella, but I don't have the Guzma that I need in order to do that. So I honestly think that if I let loose my opponent again, let's just energy switch, to be honest, and go over to a Zeraora. We're going to start building up this Zeraora to try and like finish the game off for us. I think I'm just going to Mysterious Treasure for another let loose and hope that they can't get a Charizard into play, potentially after taking out the Charizard and the Swampert with Tag Bolt. That probably seems like the most reasonable route for us. So let's just head on in for that. I think I'm going to discard this Pikachu and Zekrom. Probably don't need that. We've got another let loose. It's cool. Sure. 2 Guzma left in deck. So let's just do that. And then I'm going to want to finish off that Alolan Ninetales for game here coming down the way. So that's cool. Yep, let's just Marshad. Yep. We'll each shuffle draw 4. Want to limit their hand as much as I can. And we've got Guzma and Lightning. I just need an Electro Power or something like that to really finish this game off. And we're going to Tag Bolt and knock out the Swampert, keep them from drawing cards, hopefully, and keep them from being able to knock out my Pikachu and Zekrom. If they don't knock out the Pikachu and Zekrom, it's definitely going to be game over there for sure. And then we're also pivoting to a 2-prizer here which means that they are not going to be able just to win the game by knocking out 2 Pikachu and Zekroms, kind of forcing them to at least take 3 knockouts. Sure enough, there is a Charizard, so they're good on that front. We can maybe Guzma, take out the Meganium. We can also hit into this Charizard with our Zapdos, which is fantastic as well, because that slows down the game too. Just forcing them to deal with the Zapdos is very good. So I got a bunch of options here, and then a Guzma to finish things off. We should be good. We haven't put ourselves in danger by benching that other Pikachu and Zekrom. They drew pretty well off of the Let Loose, so that's fine. They got a Charizard, they got a Cynthia. I unfortunately don't have a choice band of the Zeraora, or else he would be able to take out the Ninetales with ease. We'll see if maybe we top deck one more damage modifier in order to get it done here on, what, turn 4? This would be ending the game on turn 4 if we knock out that Alolan Ninetales. Otherwise, it's going to be turn 5. Like I said, these games typically last about 5 turns. So we're right on track here, as I had said previously. Let's see. So we do not have game. I can do 8110 onto the Charizard, which is fine. I could also Guzma and knock out this Charmander for free with our Zapdos, which is good too. But then, yeah, I kind of like that, because then if they attack with Charizard again, they're actually going to damage themselves further. So even if they Guzma and knock out something with the Charizard, I can still just win the game then with Zapdos. So I do like that. I don't think that they'll be getting a clean Charizard into the active position next turn. So let's just do that. Yeah, we're going to Guzma up the Charmander, take that out with the Zapdos this turn. I don't want to waste my Electro Power yet, so I'm just going to hold on to the hand, probably just attach my energy to Zeraora, and let's just Thunderous Assault here. Knocking out the Charmander, go to 1 prize remaining. We should have the game squared up next turn, and I don't think that there's anything funky they can do to stop me from having it. We got Electro Power and Order Pad for another Electro Power here to finish this game off on whoever my opponent decides to promote. By promoting the Meganium, I'm actually kind of interested to see what their route is going to be. Maybe they have a Guzma in their hand already. If they have a Guzma and an energy to attach for turn, that means they're going to be doing 180. They would also need a choice band in order to KO my benched Zeraora GX. That would probably be the worst case scenario for me, is if they somehow whip up a knockout on my Zeraora GX and counter my Stadium. If they do both of those things, then I could be in some trouble, which makes me feel like potentially I should have put the Lightning Energy onto the Zapdos here. But I think that they don't have it like that. Even if they do, I still probably will win the game, because that means that they're going to have to Roaring Resolve again, meaning that they only have 110 hit points left, and all I have to do is figure out how to get 2 energy into play. I already got Ultra Ball and Energy Switch, so I can go get the Rayquaza, throw an energy into play with the Ray. Then I would just need to find 1 more energy off of my Draw supporter for turn, or my Viridian, right? So, which is apparently down. So Viridian, not an option. But having the Charmander there on the bench means that if I top deck Guzma, it's also a win out for me. Unless my opponent also has a Charizard in their hand, which case they could Quick Ripening Herb into that. Do have Rescue Stretcher, so a fresh Charizard is incoming. I wonder if they also have the Guzma and everything. With only 1 prize remaining, they do have to tread carefully here in order to not give up that game-winning prize. We'll see. Mr. Yan Sasa really considering their play here with the Rescue Stretcher. I think they kind of have to get a Charizard, but maybe they're considering Lele to go for a Guzma or something like that. If they don't have the Guzma already in their hand, they do grab the Lele. So maybe they are going for Guzma here. I wonder what their fire energy situation is looking like in the discard pile as well. They have 7 fire down, so I'm not sure how many fire they have left in the deck or in their hand. I think they usually play somewhere between like 10 and 12, I think, if I had to guess. Fire energy. So probably still have a decent amount of fire left at their disposal. they are grabbing the Guzma, so they are making this game tight. I should have put the Lightning Energy on my Zapdos. That would have really made things a little bit easier, but it's cool. We'll figure this one out. We're going to be fine here. Yeah, let's see. My Coco Prism Star is already down. They've got Super Boost. That ain't doing it, Chief, but that is interesting. If they've got, what, 3 Stage 2 Pokemon in play, then they're going to be able to use that Super Boost. I think, let's see, they're switching into Lele. Do they just have, they don't have it like that. I mean, they don't, there's no way. That Super Boost isn't doing anything. They only got 2 Stage 2s. They are putting this thing down to only so many hit points remaining, only 110 hit points remaining. They only got 1 fire left in deck, and they have to Lily. All right, that's going to be game then. Not able to use that Guzma. I'm not sure if maybe they thought that the Super Boost was activated and that they would be able to take some crazy knockout with the Super Boost. That is something that I have not seen yet, though, is a continuous Blaze Ball activated with Super Boost. I guess with all the different Stage 2 Pokemon that they have in their deck, it would be pretty cool to get that to work. All right, so we're just going to be able to Energy Switch up to the Zapdos and then retreat for free, and we can knock out the Lele with our Electro Power here to Plasma Fist for game. So GG's to my opponents there. Close game 1 against the Zapdos deck where we unfortunately got our Lele sacked turn 1 with a triple Electro Power Zapdos. That was kind of sad. But able to take down the Charizard deck with Pika pads. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Let me know, what do you think of Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GX featuring order pads in the comments below. Big shout out to all my Patreon subs again. Thank you all so much for the support, as well as everybody who supports me on Twitch, twitch.tv/TrickyJim, where we stream every single weekday. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Make sure to like the video, sub to the channel, ring that bell, check out fullgripgames.com in the description below as well. Peace.